Alright, hello and welcome. I'm Malrite28 and you're watching SHADOWCRAFT episode 27. So it's been a few days since I've actually been playing around in my world right now, and my dog is being really noisy in the background. I hope this doesn't show up. So not a lot has changed really. I've gone ahead and I've updated a few mods. I'm no longer getting some of the derpiness I was getting with the resonant induction when it comes to like the pipes and stuff. They're working, though I can't break any currently, and the wires are somewhat working. And my god, that dog is loud. Do you mind? Thank you. Oh boy. Anyway. So, I'm sorry about that. Anyway, so I mean, it's more or less working. I can, like, right now my tree farm is working again, so that's great. I have the boiler hooked up. I've not run out of, it's not bugged on the water, so this is still going. My big boiler under the tower is still off. That said, I still have a ton of power built up. And that's not necessarily because of all the power I've saved up, more so than it is because it's just not draining properly. I'm unfortunately thinking I'm still going to need to go ahead and find an alternative way to move power. And the question then becomes, do I use the RedNet energy cable from Mind Factory Reloaded, or do I go for the transfer nodes and pipe, and I forget what it's called, from Extra Utilities? I had originally disabled that because I wanted to use the in-mod resonant induction stuff, but I mean right now it's not an option, it's not working quite right. Anyway, less of stuff that's not working, more on what the general goal for today is. Since we can't really do so much with power-based stuff right now, this would be a great time to work on some magic stuff. So what I'm thinking is I would like a way to make blood magic a little bit easier on myself in terms of getting essence, or what is it, life essence? Yeah. So right now I have this altar over here. It's not the best, I mean, but it's kind of neat, right? But what I want to do is I want to actually get up a way so that I can use my, where is it? My dagger of sacrifice and just kill stuff like right over here and get all of the essence I want. And to do that, I'm going to need to take advantage of a spawner. And I could just have like a little box dropping the stuff down here. I mean, that would work. I mean, it wouldn't be too terribly interesting, but it would work. What I'm thinking, though, is I'm going to have like a little sphere thing up there with like a chute for the mobs to drop down, and they will land like right on top of this altar here. I've actually got some thickened glass and stuff already prepped up inside of these yellow bags. This is all the construction materials I should need. It also represents the end of my lava supply. Most of it went towards this lava stone stuff, which actually looks really neat. Let's go ahead and... Nope, wrong way. Let's see how this looks. You get this neat texture of the stone brick with that moving animated lava texture behind it. It's really neat. Alright, let's go ahead and go back this way. However, before I get started, I need to do two things. I'm going to need scaffolding. I could use dirt pillars and just knock everything down, but it's I'd rather use scaffolding. And since the tree farm's working, we're going to have plenty of it. So what we're going to make is the oh so wonderful block out of artifice, is the basic scaffolding. And make the reinforced. Tell you what, we're going to make the reinforced scaffolding. I think. Basic frame. Reinforced frame. No, we're not. We're making the basic. Alright, so we're going to need a bunch of sticks. Let's take about half that. Yeah, that looks like a lot, but I'm probably going to use a lot of it. And I don't like Reapers. I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and sleep the night away, and then I will You know what? I don't even think it's worth cutting. Let's go ahead and sleep real quick, and then when we get up, what we're going to do is we're going to make a little of a rough sketch of the general location of where we're going to need to put some stuff. One of the things I need to take into consideration are the mob spawners that I have, since I'm not using, like, say, the MFR auto spawner. It is required to be at least, you know, I might get a way around that if I don't use a spawner. I can just make a dark enclosed area. Though if I do that, I need to have a fairly wide space to accommodate for spiders and stuff. I'd rather not worry about that. Alright, here we go. Alright, so what I am thinking, right? I would like to have it so that the spawner is able to work whenever I'm standing on top of the runes right here. So if I'm not near this altar, there should be no reason for this thing to be spawning skeletons if I'm just in the general area. Let's go ahead and get these. So we'll just put these down around here. And what we're going to be doing at a later point is tying these all into a redstone signal that will control the lighting, or if maybe later I upgrade to a auto spawner, whether it's functioning or not. So only when I'm over here to do the stabby will stuff be spawning. At least that's what it will be eventually. We do gotta find something to put on there that will look a lot better than that, though. I might go for the magic walls over here, since that way we'll be able to see the rune below it. Yeah, that's probably the best bet. Anyway, so the thing I need to take into consideration is that the spawners will only work if the player is, I believe, with 16 blocks from them. And I'm going to be offset a little bit, so let's make that 15. Anyway, so I believe it goes by player feet. I don't think it goes by head, so we'll call that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then right over here. Oop, that hurt. I don't want to die in my own blood altar. Alright, and we'll call this over here. Can you not? Okay, there we go. So right over here, and that would mean that I would need to have the spawner right where I'm currently standing, so we're going to... No, it doesn't. It needs to be right where that scaffolding is. Why do you not want to break? Of course, it uses a pick, not an axe. Alright, so let's go ahead and come down here and let's see how high up that is. Oh, I love these things. That's a fairly good height. The only thing I really need to take into consideration here is that while that is a good distance up, the spawning area is going to mean that from that point I'm going to need about 4 blocks in every direction. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be coming out to about like right here, and then whatever I use to decorate that. So my sphere might actually not work out that terribly great. Tell you what, let's go ahead and just start building this from the bottom up, the way that you never really want to build stuff. Get out of my inventory, please. Oh wow, I forgot how much these things like to click. Alright. Alright, so that is on the interior. Here would be the exterior, right? Okay, we'll put that down and then put one... See how that looks. No, you can still actually see the... There's probably better materials to use for that, but for now that will work. And what we're doing, we just want to make sure that whenever the mobs or whatever spawn in here, we don't want them to be able to walk out or anything. And to do that, we're just giving a little bit of a lip around here. Yeah, I don't think I'll be using... it works, but I don't think I'll be doing that all the way. I think I'll find a good solid color strip to use at a later point. Okay, you guys can come up for now. I don't know if there's a way to make them quiet. I wish there were. Alright. And then on top of that, we'll have panes so that they actually can't get out, or actually say get back to their freedom. Where's that spawn? This is the panel. I think I needed the one that was a little bit smaller. Let's see how this works instead. Yeah, I think that'll do. Unfortunately, since I put this little thing right here, we'll get rid of this for now. And there, it's not going to let me put the scaffold up. Oh. And this should, yeah, it's doing connected texture all the way up. That's good. It's the main reason why I wanted to use this glass. I'd still be able to see stuff fall down here, but it would still contain it. So it's a win-win for me. Let's go ahead and take this all the way up that far. And then gently we balance on top of the micro blocks. That did not need to go there. Alright, so I think I've got the general shape I want to go for this. Well, it's not necessarily the shape. I have the general height I would like for this to go. So what's basically going to happen is that the edge of that stone brick right there is actually going to be the very bottom layer of the shape that I'm making, allowing the spawner to be roughly center. So let's go ahead and put up some of these nether bricks. Oh, that's a little bit laggy. Let's go ahead and put these up around here so that we have a nice, good basis of a platform to use. Alright, so when I wanted to go ahead and do this, I believe it is the center 3x3, and then around the edges. Yeah, that's right. There we go. The next layer up should now be over just a little bit. So if we, I have actually got a lot of this to build and put through, so I tell you what, it's probably going to be better for me to go ahead and just plow through this, and then I can show you the result of the building. Okay, so I may have gotten a little carried away here. That is a gigantic kind of sphere-like structure, not quite. I was trying to try to break it up a little bit using more than one material, and I gotta tell you, I really don't think that works so well. Oh, I missed a spot. There should be some more bricks over there. Well, poop. Alright, let's go ahead. You get away. Forget the axe. You can die now. What do you give us? Just sticks? Alright, let's go ahead and do a quick trip up here to fix that a little bit. I definitely put more up here than I intended to do. I didn't actually record it, which I suppose is fine because I've been doing a bit of time lapses recently, and I mean, their time lapses aren't that terribly exciting. Not to mention, it's a lot of work to make a good time lapse. I should know, I've yet to make one. Seriously though, it's fun trying to find the music and stuff to go to it. It's a little bit better. There we go. I'll worry about getting that a little bit more decorated as the time goes on. For now, though, we're just going to make a quick trip up into the center here. Oh, and something else has occurred to me. I probably should have put the panes on the outside because I think the skeletons might not fall down correctly in here. Oh, so that's on the right side. So it was just this particular... Oh, never mind. No, we're good. So right now we're inside of what is essentially a massive ball of mob spawning. If we did not have... Well, actually, if we can pull it up right now this entire area could spawn stuff, which is not so great. I mean, it works for what we need to do, but it's not so great in general. So what we're going to do to combat this is... nothing. Now, I believe if I go ahead and I can... the setter block should be right there. Now, this will be visible from outside, but we'll deal with it. I believe this should be dark enough not to spawn any additional stuff, but it should still let the skeleton spawner work. If not, we can wire this up to that redstone control that I was using over at the beginning. Alright, so let's check this out. I went ahead and I finished up the majority of the building to the sphere here. If you notice, there's currently levers on the lights there to turn it off. Eventually, that's going to be replaced with some red relay wire and some framing around it. I don't know if I can make it look good doing that, but I'll try. Probably going to have to make extensive use of the jacketed cables from extra utilities to hide the stuff, and that will be tied into the pressure plates that we'll be having here, so that only when I'm standing here will stuff be able to spawn. Speaking of spawn, this is actually kind of funny. I've run into a problem with this setup. I'm currently generating a ton of loot with this altar here, because all these die one hit. Even the infernal mobs. And the infernal mobs, which are pretty common actually, are dropping all this named or enchanted loot. And it's pretty much all junk. I mean, well, leather tunic, spider eye. There we go, pants. Protection 2, I'll take those. But I mean, I'm getting like the gold nuggets. I got a gold apple earlier. Tons of arrows, tons of bones. It's I didn't realize that this would still give me experience. I thought when I was going to sacrifice them on the blood altar that I would only get the essence out of them. I didn't think I'd be getting experience still. And so far, the only really big drawback that I've run into for this is that this only works for adult skeletons. If I have anything spawn, say like a baby skeleton, it doesn't work. I have to beat it to death, which is an entirely new world of terrible. But I mean, otherwise, this is really stupidly easy experience. If this were another world where I were to say have a autonomous activator or a turtle or something, I wonder if this would oh, something had a knockback or whatever. I would wonder if I could just automate this that way. Of course, that wouldn't cause that spawner to function. Anyway, so there is one other thing I need to do before I'm able to call this a working system. And, well, I had thought about doing that wiring a little bit later, but you know what? This is a really good time to do it. So for now, we're just going to make a really, really ugly pillar up. Oh, no, we forgot. I'm forgetting something. I'm such a terrible build? Or okay, so let's go ahead and throw some stuff away. Don't need you, don't need you. Don't need you. So much freaking junk. I'll keep the gold though. Okay, so first off, we need to take a good chunk of these, let's say 18, and we're going to cut these into... Alright, so I had wanted to finish off with a bang here, and I wanted to make my next tier of blood ore, but as it turns out, I have this set up here, and this is nice. Before I'm actually going to be able to make the next tier, though, I need to replace these runes of self-sacrifice with runes of actual sacrifice. This is currently set up to get the most out of me using my own life, and I don't want to do that anymore. And if I just rely on these guys right now, falling down and hitting them with the sword here, it's not making anywhere near enough LP to actually make the orb. It just keeps fizzling away and it wastes all the LP that it's making. So this is not the ideal solution. So I definitely need to get more runes of sacrifice. Maybe, I don't know if I can do it for the tier 3, but I know there are some that increase the capacity, and that would definitely help if I could build up a higher capacity first. However, this is something that's going to take a little bit more time, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and call it for today. Whoa. I'm going to go ahead and call it for today. God, look at all this freaking stuff. Anyway, if you have any questions or comments, I would really appreciate it if you leave a message below, and as always, have a good day.